Hey, it's Lee Henkin here. Thanks for checking out this video. So, this video is going to be an important one because we're going to be talking about what in my opinion are the only three things that really affect your cold email results. So, in the world of cold email or outbound lead gen in general, there's, as you know, depending on your kind of experience, skill level, there's a whole bunch of different strategies and tactics you can use in your campaigns to get results. I'm not going to go through all those because I've probably got other videos where I've done that, or I can just make another video on that topic. The point is, though, there's a lot of different strategies and tactics you can use, and they do influence results from campaigns, but there are three things that I think they're kind of like a principle really that impacts cold email results or any kind of lead gen results for that matter more than strategies and tactics. And that principle is sending the right message at the right time to the right person. So I first heard about this early in my lead gen journey, maybe, God, I don't know when it was, 2018, 19. Had a big impact on me personally, just because it helped me kind of like understand, like, I guess, kind of just the big picture and the broader kind of view of lead gen as a whole. Because it's easy when you're starting out in lead gen to kind of, I don't know, get really anxious and stuff like that about results. I mean, that kind of never truly goes away, but I think just with experience and understanding stuff, it gets easier. And this principle made a big difference to me, understanding that a lot of the results from cold email literally comes down to just sending the right message, right time, right person, literally. And you can have sometimes the best messaging um, and the best list of contacts, but sometimes the timing's not right. So I'm just going to run through those three variables basically. So it's really important to understand them, in my opinion, and just the impact it has on your results. So the three variables, so the right person, um, this really comes down to just knowing who you're targeting and like what or which companies you want to be targeting. So, you know, having a good picture in mind as to who is most likely going to be the decision makers and which types of companies are most likely going to benefit or be interested in whatever it is you're reaching out about. And those filters or parameters really comes down to stuff like job titles, seniority department, niche industries, company sizes, company types. Could have added in there even like funding, stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of stuff really. It's really obviously the specifics of that are going to depend on every business. Um, the main thing though is you have clarity around this because if you have the best offer, the best message, whatever, but you're sending it to contacts who aren't really in a decision making capacity, or maybe they're the wrong job department, like that's going to have an impact on your results, obviously. So, well, what should seem obvious, but a lot of people can overlook it. So it's really important to be really clear on who's going to be the right people and the right companies for your offer. Okay. Um, the more detailed and clear you are on that, the more accurate your lead lists are going to be because you're going to know what to look for in different databases and stuff like that. So that's kind of the right person. Just a fundamental, literally everything I'm going through is fundamentals. Timing now. Timing is huge. It's often overlooked, in my opinion. There's going to be literally times when you run campaigns where just shit just doesn't stick. Like, you're killing it, maybe one quarter, for example, of outreach. You're killing it, and then the next quarter it's like slower or a lag. A lot of that is honestly just going to be timing. Timing just plays a really big role, and I think it gets overlooked a lot in these conversations when it comes to like success and things like that in terms of cold email results or any lead gen results. Because the reality is that you could have like 10,000 prospects and you could reach out to them over, I don't know, 2, 3 month period, that 10,000 prospects. But the reality is, not all of those prospects are going to have the awareness level, a high level of awareness about their problem and kind of their perception that they need a solution to that problem. Whereas if you were then to reach out to that same 10,000 prospects 6 months later, you will find that there will be prospects that reply interested who didn't the first time round, like in the previous 6 months, as a hypothetical example. And I've seen this in the real world happen. So this is kind of what I want to emphasize when it comes to timing and how much of a result, how much of an impact it plays on results. So awareness levels always change in markets. So this is why timing is super important. And there will be occasions where, like, yeah, you've had scripts that are just killing it. And then whether it's due to sophistication levels changing or awareness levels changing, things like that, um, it just won't get the kind of results it was getting. So there are things you can do though to mitigate the timing factor. That's not something you can't do anything about. So a couple things you can do, using multi-step sequences. So if you stagger your sequences out, generally now I'm doing 3 or 4 step sequences, but for most campaigns for clients, I'm trying to keep them to 3 steps. Sometimes I'll go to 4. It just depends on the client and how specific they are in terms of their targeting. But a multi-step sequence is a way to do this. So if you stagger it out over a period of 3, 4 weeks, something like that, that can help mitigate this. And recycling through lead lists. I just touched upon this using that example. Like if you've reached out to a bunch of prospects, let's say again, as the example I gave earlier, it's 10,000. 6 months later, run through them again. I guarantee you'll get contacts that didn't reply the first time around, reply interested this second time around. Literally happens every time I do this. So that's another thing you can do to mitigate timing. And lastly, I'd say looking at like kind of triggers. So this will be stuff like when a company has put out a job posting, for example, or they've made a new hire, news coverage. Only problem with these kind of triggers, in my opinion, is it'll generally only be a small number if you take like a total target market. Again, it's going to vary because obviously every target market's going to be different. But in my experience, it's always generally a small amount, so it's hard to kind of do it at like large volume. It's kind of the thing where you might want to take a more hyper personalized approach if you're going to look at those kind of triggers. But that is another way to mitigate this because you're directly looking at triggers and then tying that into your outreach, which is a really good way to mitigate timing factor. So that's the timing aspect of that principle. And last but not least, really important is the right message. So you're reaching out to the right person, it's the right time. Now it's got to be the right message. This is really honestly more about the offer rather than the messaging, because copywriting or just messaging scripts, they're just amplifiers or whatever the offer is. Um, so it's really important you just have a really solid offer that you know your target market wants and needs, honestly, more than anything else, that you can identify differentiation, uniqueness, maybe something you do better that your competitors don't do, stuff like that. Ideally, credibility and proof is going to be really important as well. And then you really want to be testing a variety of different messaging scripts and approaches. So A, B, C tests, that kind of thing. And there's a whole bunch of, again, I could go on and on about this specific aspect, but you could reach out with a Loom video, some kind of lead magnet, some other kind of free piece of value that they will find interesting and valuable to whatever they're trying to do. You could just be direct. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with this. So yeah, the main point with this is the testing different messaging scripts and approaches, just to get that data, market intelligence feedback that allow you to iterate and optimize accordingly, and ideally doing this as quickly as possible. The faster you can do it, the faster you're going to get the market intelligence you need to actually get more consistent, profitable results. So that's really it. That's honestly the three main things that are going to have the biggest impact on cold email results. So it really, if I think about all the cold email or cold outreach in general I've done in the last 6 years since 2018, it's literally been a case that you reach out to the right person at the right time with the right message, with an offer that they want and need. That's literally it. So they're the three main things that are going to impact results. Yes, strategies, tactics do influence results, but they play a secondary influence compared to what I've just gone through in this video. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to make a video about this because I think it's super important to understand this principle. Makes a big difference to what you're trying to do. So that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe to the channel. If you got any thoughts on this or anything you want to add, please do drop a comment. Interested to hear what you think. And that's pretty much it. Otherwise, stay tuned for the next video. And yeah, hopefully continue to provide you guys with more value. So thanks again, and see you all again soon.